I guess obviously it's a small world. You own a gym also.
Yeah, yeah. So, I'm really good friends with Hunter and Austin, and yeah, I'm their kind of operations director for the HyperCon games, and run my own kind of hybrid competition called Rally in the Valley. So we got a lot of listeners and a lot of people who are listeners of the show. So
Man,
yeah, man.
what's the name of your gym, Matt?
Shot Fire Fitness.
And where is it at?
It's called Hurricane, West Virginia. It spells like it looks like hurricane, but it's pronounced hurricane.
And is it a CrossFit gym?
No, it was an affiliate, and then my wife and I bought it, kind of revamped it, and then we dropped we didn't want to keep the affiliate.
And what year was that?
That was 2021 when we bought it.
Dang, what a small world. I guess that makes sense because how you popped on my radar, someone sent me your Instagram and they're like, "Hey, check this out. This guy's flying needed I don't know what you call them. But needed items to people who are in the hurricane supplies." Oh, did you freeze? Oh, I think you froze, Matt. You did freeze. Did I freeze or did you freeze? Did he freeze for you guys? This man has a wonderful mustache. Yeah, doesn't even look real, right? Matt, are you there? I think you're muted if you're there. Maybe your camera went down, but are you there, Matt?
Yeah, my Wi-Fi might not be able to support this. I always have trouble with stream.
Oh, damn. Damn. You're frozen again. Try your cellular. Maybe just your cellular is good enough. So someone sent me while Matt figures out his connection. His Instagram account is Matt Stevens, and someone said that this guy was a helicopter pilot and was flying in supplies to people in North Carolina who were having issues or stranded. So I was pretty excited to get his firsthand account. But seems like a great dude. I don't know if he's still in the military, but he put in 20 years. Today marks 20 years of military service. This is from September 28th. And I've been reflecting on the path that brought me here, departing MEPS in Minneapolis. Anyway, it'd be great to hear his story. Sevan the Outdoorsman gave me a kitchen tattoo last night. Whoa. I don't know what a kitchen tattoo is, but that sounds scary. Hey.
Hey, this might. I turned off my Wi-Fi, and I'm just gonna roll off my phone. So
Okay, let's give it a shot.
all right, if hopefully it works.
Am I stuttering on your end, or are you catching what I'm saying?
I'm catching what you're saying. Is it good on your end?
Yeah, so far so good.
Okay.
Okay, so, by the way, 20 years in the military.
Yep, 20 years. I hit 20 years the 28th of September, I hit 20 years.
And what branch?
Air Force.
Congratulations and thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's been a long journey. It felt like 20 years. Somebody said 20 years ago, they are like, it's going to go by really fast in the blink of an eye, man. It's here. So
Are you still in, Matt? Are you still in, Matt? Nope, this ain't gonna happen. All right. Oh, wow, Randy, 34 years. Holy shit. Crazy. 34 years. Well, thank you, Randy. Damn, that's wild. You must be good at your job after 34 years. Why do people stay in? Isn't there a point where you've maxed out whatever you can retire with? Wouldn't you retire at that point? I don't mean to make it sound like it's only for the money, but that's a whole lifetime, right? Isn't there some point that you hit and you're like, okay, if I retire now, it's not going to change my retirement pay? 20 years. So at 20 does. So everything after that is just someone sticking with their job because they love it. You obtain retirement points. If only I knew what that was. Matt, I'd bring you in, but I can't. Maybe this isn't gonna work. Let me call him and see. Maybe we'll have to reschedule him. Uh, Matt Stevens. I think he's seen some stuff from the air and probably on the ground. I'd love to ask him. I saw more helicopter footage.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, dude. Is there a time that you'll have? Is there a time later in the week that you'll have better Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I mean, let me try this now because I just stepped out into a spot where I got more better service.
Okay.
So try it one more time, and if it doesn't work, then we'll hop on another day.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Okay, here we go.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Hey. Hey.
Let's see if this works better.
How much longer? How much longer will you be in? Is 20 years? Isn't 20 years like okay? You did it.
Yeah, 20 years is like that's it, man. You did it. You're good. But I got another like 10 months left on my contract. So whenever, I mean, I could punch the button now, right? If I found a job somewhere that is hiring, whatever, I could punch out now. But I don't see the benefit of it right now because I still got. It takes about 10 to 12 months just to get all your VA benefits and everything lined up before you actually retire. So I feel like if I just ride this out, get all my benefits lined up, a year from now, find a job and then transition easily over to the civilian side, I think that would be the best.
And you work on a base.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm out of Charleston, West Virginia. So it's a kind of like a joint base. There's Army and Air Force up here.
And were you married before you went in?
No, so I wasn't, man. And guys in the military, dude, it's crazy because I joined when I just turned 19, and you have this sense of freedom, but yet you're not established in yourself. You're young, you're still trying to figure out life. So a lot of the guys get married in what we call tech school or like AIT training for the Army. So I ended up getting married like within a year of me joining the Air Force. And dude, I tell you what, Savon, my life, I was telling somebody the other day, I said, dude, I need to write a book because I've been through so much crap and so much nonsense in 20 years being in the military and then just life happening. I need to write a book to document it because some people could probably benefit from the stories and the things I've been through. So to not get into too much detail, because I could sit here for hours and tell you about all the detail and everything that I've been through, both personally and professionally. But I got married real young. We had a child. She ended up passing away. She had hypoplastic left heart syndrome, so HLHS. So if you look that up, basically like the left side of the heart, the left atrium and left ventricle are significantly smaller. And what they have to do is put a shunt in between the left atrium into the right ventricle, and they repair it from there. So it was one of those deals where it's like very, very risky. We found out very early on that this was occurring and this was happening. And we went ahead with the surgery, and she unfortunately passed away due to cardiac arrest at 8 days old. So stories like that I can talk about now. Before, 10, 15 years ago, it was really hard for me to talk about that. But obviously, as time heals, they say time heals things. And I think over time, I've been able to help so many people with that story and going through that. And being in the military, you have subordinates that are under you, and being a supervisor and a leader, people come to you with their problems. And I've had so many people come to me with their problems, and I had been through so many of those other problems: divorce, child death, grandparents, accidents, you name it. I've kind of gone through it, and I was able to help them help themselves through the things that I've been through. So that was just kind of one piece of it. So needless to say, things didn't work out between her and I, but she ended up getting pregnant right before we were getting divorced. And I have twins through
Oh.
her, which they're 17. They live in Texas right now. Amazing kids. They have also been through a lot. And so, it's been a wild, wild journey. And like I said, we could sit here and talk about so many different things and avenues, both personally and professionally. It's crazy, man.
Boys or girls?
So the twins are a boy and a girl, and then I have a 12-year-old son who's shaping up to kind of be like me. He was this like nice, calm, cool, collected kid, very nice, and now he's kind of like outspoken, and he's turning into like this leader, and people look up to him, which is good. But at 12, you got to learn how to cage that, man, because you can go crazy and wild and go all the way left field really quickly. So as long as he learns how to cage that and use it appropriately, I think that'll be a good thing for him. And then our youngest one, she's 3.5, and she's a wild one, man. She's the crazy one of the bunch, and uh, love her to death. But man, she is wild. She doesn't listen. She's rambunctious. You almost got to raise her like a boy because she is crazy.
So you've had 5 kids. You have 4 kids now, but you've had 5
Yep.
kids.
Yep.
Wow. God, you seem so young to have, 2 17-year-olds.
Yeah. I'm 39.
Wow. Oh, man, you've already lived a few lifetimes. Hey, in all of these trials that you've gone through, is there, um, uh, how have you found a method to process them? Do you have a coping mechanism? Is there something you don't look like a drinker. You don't look
No,
like you try to
this
drugs.
might sound crazy, man. So two things off the bat, and I think about this constantly, and I tell people all the time: music
Mm,
and just learning how to compartmentalize things. And I'm not saying when I say compartmentalize, I'm not saying like push it off to the side and forget about it. I'm saying put it in an area of your brain, come back to it when your mind is right to come back to it.
mm.
Meaning, if something, let's say something happens last week, right? I see a horrific accident, which I kind of did. You know, we saw a lot of things last week in North Carolina. I'm going to compartmentalize that. I'm going to put it away. And then when my mind can wrap around the truth and, you know, the severity behind it, then I'll come back to that, talk about it, and then kind of get over it. You know what I mean? So I think kind of talking to you, talking this story through will help me kind of put those emotions aside and kind of get through this. And you can relate that to anything else in life. I think people react so quickly to certain things that if they just sort of take a second step back and look at what's going on around them, they would have a better reaction. But a lot of people are so quick to react and so quick to say and blame and point the finger and blame people. And I think that if people just step back and realize like, hey, this is what's happening, X, Y, and Z, and if I can attack X, Y, and Z appropriately, my solution would be found somewhere in that process.
So, for me, you're kind of defining what meditation is instead of if something happens and instead of jumping on the immediate reaction and letting the reaction take you over, give it some space and let some other options pop in to let you see the issue as opposed to just react to it.
Yeah, I think that's correct. And then
Did someone
the
teach
other
you that?
avenue I use working out and then
Yeah.
music. Music has been, you know, a godsend to me. And whether it's a mood that I want to just jam out to Limp Biscuit,
Uh-huh.
Everybody Sucks, you
Yep.
know, or you know something like more, I don't know, like country. I mean, I listen to all kinds of different genres of music. I'm very
Did someone
eclectic in that nature.
did someone teach you that? The method of giving when something happens, give it space, try to get fresh eyes on it?
I don't think, I mean, maybe I've heard it, but I think it's just like self-taught kind of thing, like what works for me, because everybody's different, right? You can have a room full of 10 people and all 10 people might cope certain ways and it works for them, might not work for me. So I think I just found different avenues and different ways that it works for me to cope. And I think that was the biggest thing from my ex and I just coped a certain way and looked at other avenues and she didn't agree with that, which is fine. Like, and I'll tell you this, fast forward 20 years, she texted me last week and said, I love seeing the things that you're doing. I have people that want to help. I have people, can I give them your number? You know, so we went from hating each other and all those years and trying to raise kids together, which she did majority of that work. And then now she's texting me saying, thank you for the things you're doing. Can I send people your number for help? So it's like that is kind of like full circle life. And I think that's what everybody should strive to do when they're trying to co-parent and raise kids together.
Right, great point. I've it's ever since I've had kids, I've seen music as medicinal also. It's very
Oh,
interesting. I don't
absolutely.
listen to a lot of music, but if I'm pissed or if my kids are wound up, I'll just put on music and, I feel like it has 100% success rate. I don't feel like it ever misses the mark.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't. Like my daughter, it's funny because when she goes through these stages of just like craziness and she doesn't want to sit still, I'll put on, she loves Luke Combs. She loves Morgan Wallen, and she loves Country Roads. Obviously, being from West Virginia, Country Roads, she knows the entire song, word for word. And then a recent one, Chase Rice, that song Arkansas. If you play that, Chase Rice, Arkansas, she loves it. Talking about going hunting on Christmas. She'd be like, "Tell the boys get ready. We're going hunting on Christmas or something." So it's a really good song that she absolutely loves to sing along to. So I think it takes her out of that like rambunctious moment and then kind of cages her into this, encapsulates her into this world of like a musical centric era. You know, it's crazy how what music can do to her, and I think the same thing goes to me too. I put something on and it just kind of soothes my soul.
I'll put on since the kids were babies. If I put on James Taylor, they'll just immediately calm down. If they're fighting in the back, and I just say, "Hey Siri, James Taylor's greatest hits," um,
There's an issue with your Apple Music account.
there it's we're good to go. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's wild.
So what do you do in the Air Force? What's your job?
So I'm a SEER specialist. So I started off as a C-130 crew chief, and a crew chief followed into just like a C-130 mechanic. So those big prop planes that you see flying around. I started off as a mechanic, and then I went into SEER, which is survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. And the training was very strenuous. It's about a year and a half long of just constant sleep deprivation, stress inoculation. I mean, you name it, they throw it at us because we don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk. So they put us through all these different scenarios and all these different, you know, biomes and have us survive in these different areas. And then we're able to teach it, regurgitate all that information that we went through and that we learned, and then tell our pilots and any ground crew members that come through the course how to do those certain things. So we're able to talk pretty well in large groups. You know, I think that's one thing that SEER guys are good at is just taking control of a room or taking control of a conversation and networking and getting the things that we need at our fingertips in a moment's notice. And I think goes a long ways with kind of the stuff that I went through in this past week as well.
I can't remember who I had on, but I had someone on who was involved in the last week who also worked on C-130s. I can't remember who it is. Maybe someone will say in the comments. And they did not, whatever they were doing with the C-130s, they did not enjoy it. They said, I can't remember what it was, but what an amazing plane. I remember it from the air show. That's the one where they can lower the back doors. It's flying by at air shows, and you can look in and be like, holy shit.
Yeah, they're big. They're not as big as like a C-17 or a C-5, but they are definitely a large, we call them trash haulers. You know, they're just troop transport and getting things from point A to point B. But the coolest thing in my career, I think, when I was transitioning from like being a crew chief into SEER was our command kind of switched and changed, and the command that I was under as a crew chief was now the command that was under us as a SEER guy. So those same planes that I worked on now are operating out of Spokane, and we're jumping out of them. We're going in and we're doing air ops out of them. So the same plane that I worked on for 8 years as a dedicated crew chief, I then got to jump out of it. So that was kind of like a pivotal moment in my career. It was like, oh my gosh, like I spent all this time on this airplane watching these guys go on these missions, and I would always dream about doing that. And then finally that day came where the plane came up to Fairchild Air Force Base. I got on and I was like, oh man, this is the coolest moment. I had all the crew that I used to work with, the load masters, everybody was, you know, guys that I'd known for years, and now here I am finally jumping out. So like I always say, don't let go of your dreams. And I've had some terrible times getting into being a SEER specialist. Just my rank wasn't correct. I failed portions of the PT test, which that drove a huge flame under my butt to get me going. But I jumped through so many hurdles to get to be a SEER guy. And I think that's what a lot of people who were with me at that time kind of realized and still followed me all the way through. And that's been, 12, 13 years ago. So don't ever think something's too large for you to get to if that's something you want to do. And I tell all the guys that I mentor trying to go into special operations in the Air Force, like, you guys got to get to a point in your life where you just are so determined that nothing's going to stop you. And everybody has a hurdle in life. My hurdles might be different from the next guy, but everybody has a hurdle in life. And as long as we can find a common goal and strive to do just that, I mean, you just got to keep pushing and keep going. I just one meal at a time. That's how I judge my days out is one meal at a time. If I can get to lunch, I'm good. If I get through lunch, I got to get to dinner. So that was just one of those weird kind of periods in my life, and after it's all said and done, it's easy, man. It's fun, it's enjoyable, it's rewarding.
Yeah, Matt, I can't remember when it was. I want to say it was 20 years ago, but I can't remember. There were some Air Force pilots. I think they were Air Force. They were shot down, and they were in enemy territory. And I remember reading the story that this pilot parachuted out, and then he basically just laid down and laid perfectly still for like 2 or 3 days and didn't move until he got rescued. But that was his training, was to stay perfectly still. I think he covered himself with some leaves. Is that the kind of stuff you teach?
That's yeah. Some of it's all situational dependent. A lot of things in survival are situational dependent. The guy that you're talking about, his name's Scott O'Grady. So if you look up Scott O'Grady, I think that was sometime in, yeah, it might have been more than 20 years ago. But Scott O'Grady was one, and then there's two others that kind of had a cool story just like that as well. Harney, I think his name was Harney. His call sign was Miso Harney, and then
That's awesome.
I can't remember the other guy's name off the top of my head, but if you look up those stories, those two guys were, I believe, in an F-16, maybe an F-15 Strike Eagle. They went into a flat spin and had to punch out, and then they found themselves on the ground. So that is my job. So if somebody were to punch out, have a hard landing, get stuck somewhere, ground guys get stuck somewhere, that's our job, to teach them how to survive and what to do if they get captured, what to do if they find themselves in the middle of nowhere. So that is what the bulk of our job is. My job now, more in charge of personnel recovery and combat search and rescue. So thinking about, like, if stuff happens, I'm the guy to coordinate all that stuff going on. So
So you're married again.
yeah. So I'm married. My wife, she's actually trying to call me. I told her I was on this podcast, so I don't know what she's doing trying to call me. But yeah, she's awesome. She's the
I can't. Oh, wait. I can't hear you. Better.
Sorry, she's more behind the scenes. People think, oh, she's just nowhere to be found half the time. But dude, she is my rock. She is who takes care of my daughter and I. I mean, all the kids really. But she does so much for us, and so thankful that she's here, supporting me. And it's hard to support my life, I'm sure, because I'm always trying to do a million different things, and she's always here for everything. Even though sometimes she gets upset and mad that I've got so much going on and so many irons in the fire, but she is definitely 100% supporter of whatever I've got going on.
Is she in the military?
No, she's not. She is not. So I met her through kind of a military avenue. So I was in 2018 or 2019. The last time I got back from my last Afghanistan deployment, the Air Force put on a special operations Spartan team, and they pushed us to these different areas and all these different Spartan races and OCR races. And that's where I saw her for the first time. I met her in Killington, Vermont.
She
She
was
was up there for a
competing. She was
race.
running. Oh,
She was running the race. Yeah, she was running the race, and she was kind of on their pro team back when Spartan had a pro team. She was running on the pro team. That's where she like knew Hunter and all those guys back then, who were doing that. So Hunter's known her for a long time as well. But I saw her and I was like, dang man, she is so damn sexy. I want to get to know her. So I found out who she was and started stalking her Instagram, and she'll tell you a different version of that story. But she finally hit me up and we hit it off. I went out to her place. And then the rest was kind of history. We've been married now for 5 years, going on 6.
are you going out to that event in Catalina Island that Austin and Hunter are throwing?
Yeah, so I'm the operations director for the HyperCon games, and a lot of people know me from my own event called Rally in the Valley. So Rally in the Valley is a hybrid competition that I started in 2022, and kind of along the same lines of what the HyperCon games is, but I have it all out. I run a gym called Shot Fire Fitness in Hurricane, West Virginia, and we operate a pretty large and popular hybrid competition called Rally in the Valley, and it kind of like bled over into HyperCon games. I helped Hunter out one year trying to he needed some help judging down in North Carolina at their Eastern Regionals. I told him I'd help him out. I came and he was like, dude, we want you, man. We got to have you. We need you. Uh, can you help us? And I said, yes, absolutely. We can help you. So if you pull up Rally in the Valleys page, you can probably see a little bit more of the action that we have. So there's Shot Fire's page.
Is it this one, Raleigh, West Virginia?
Yeah, Raleigh, West Virginia. There it is. So Raleigh, West Virginia. That's our competition from this past year. We had a mountain bike finale. It was awesome. That's Ryan Geiger. One of those.
That's a nice gym. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's a work in progress. You know, we bought it, and I wouldn't say it didn't have much love, but it just needed some extra love, some TLC, and we brought it up to speed. And I said, you know, I'm going to throw a competition here, and I want it to be mainstream. I want people to come out. I want athletes, top athletes, to come out and compete. So, you know, it was great, man. It's been an awesome thing, and it's a passion of mine. It's one of the most stressful things I have to do in life, operating this competition, but it's worth every second, man. We've saved lives. Like, people have turned their lives around trying to, you know, come out here and compete, and just the way we make athletes feel. I think because it's that small town feel, people just come out and support, you know, and it's great. It's awesome.
Do you fly also? Are you a pilot?
No, I'm not a pilot, so I'm a ground guy, and I specialize in getting pilots from point A to point B, and I think that's where my expertise really honed in last week when I was down in North Carolina. Not only can I make that happen from a ground perspective, but I can go on those missions myself, and I know what to do when I hit the ground running. So, yeah, last week was a tremendous effort from all types of civilians. You know, there's probably 33 to 35 helicopters that were operating out of Hickory, North Carolina. I think Garrett Mitchell was out there. There's a lot of other, you know, well-known people in the industry that were out there flying their personal helicopters on some of these missions. And kind of going back to last Monday, there's our mayor, Scott Edwards. So Scott, I told Scott, I said, dude, I need to do something. I'm originally from North Carolina, and I spent a lot of time in my youth going up to the mountains in North Carolina. And I said, dude, I've got to make something happen. We've got to help these people out. And he said, Matt, I'm gonna be honest with you. We're two states separated from North Carolina. You'll get a lot of support for West Virginia. You might get a little support for Ohio and Virginia, but North Carolina is two states separated. You might not get that much support. I said, I don't care. Let's do it. Send it. Let's make it happen. Let's start this food drive and supply drive and see what we can get. Well, within a week, we had over 150,000 pounds of supplies delivered to the fire station. We had 15 20 to 30-foot trailers lined up. We had two semis, a 48-foot trailer, and we were pushing all this stuff. And I'm kind of the guy behind this phone trying to get all this stuff coordinated in all of these different supply drop centers. And I swear, if it wasn't for my sister down in North Carolina, I'd be so much more lost in translation of what was going on, because she was the one that was able to link me up with Ashe County Airport and some of her buddies that were in Western Carolina. So she went to App State, which is in Boone. So she has a lot of ties to the community still. You know, she's lived there for probably 30 years. We moved there when I was 8 or 9. So yeah, she's been there for close to 30 years. So she knows a lot of people. So she's calling her buddies, asking them know what they needed. And we found the need of medical supplies in a little town called Pensacola, North Carolina. Now, last week you heard all these rumors about people needing help, and how all these larger areas would get the help first, and all these smaller towns were going to be forgotten about. So I made it a point right then and there, sitting at my desk, saying, I am going to help these people firsthand by myself. I don't care what it takes. I am going to go to these locations that everybody says they're going to be forgotten about. So Kate had linked me up with a guy out of Pensacola Fire Department, just south of Burnsville, North Carolina. And he told me what he needed. They had Starlink set up, and they had like internet communications. They lost everything. I mean, the entire town was just swept away. So I found out what he needed. I was able to acquire those items that he needed. And then I was able to fly directly into his location. So essentially what happened was I went down to Hickory, North Carolina, and they had a tactical operations center set up. So a TOC, if you're familiar with like some military acronyms. So they had a TOC set up, and then they had incident command. So they had some incident command posts set up, and immediately I went up to the guy that was in charge, and I said, hey dude, here's my credentials. Here's what I do for a living. How can I help? And he goes, oh shit, pack your stuff. I'll send you out. And I said, here's what I got. I got these 3 missions. He goes, all right, cool. We'll prioritize those. They immediately prioritized them. One was
What
that
do you mean?
medical
Sorry,
drop, and
real
then
quick,
two.
Matt. What do you mean you had your own missions already?
So when I say I had my own missions, I mean, I had people were telling me that they needed help. We have a lot of friends in North Carolina, and people were telling me,
Okay.
hey, I haven't heard from my uncle. One of them was, I haven't heard from my uncle in 4 days. So I said, okay, what's his address? Where does he live? Got the address, put it on a card. So all these missions, every mission was tied to a helicopter pilot. So these helicopter pilots would go out and they would have 3 to 4 missions depending on the area of operation that they are in. So if they were operating out of Burnsville, so just for instance, we were operating out of Burnsville, so we had 3 to 4 mission cards that were pre-written of just tips. We were going off of tips, call-ins, and then Facebook posts of these people who are missing. Some of them were legit. Some of them were, the communication was so backlogged that these people were either self-recovered or they had gotten recovered days before, and we just didn't get the word yet. So we were going off all this stuff. And I said, no, these ones are legit. I have legit people that I know personally that have not heard from these individuals in 4 days. So he says, all right, you're on it. You're able to do it. I authorize you to fly on these missions. Go make it happen. And I said, okay. So the first thing we did, we flew into
Who authorized this
Pensacola
guy?
Fire.
Did
What's
that
that?
guy who authorized him? He just authorized himself?
These were all volunteers.
Okay.
So Hickory Airport, they set up like an incident command, and they set up this one lady. Her name was Lindsay Duke, and this other guy Matt. I think he was partial owner in like a helicopter, like scenic tour type of thing out of South Carolina. Them two got together. Lindsay Duke was an ER nurse, I believe, and they just got together and they're like, we're incident command, and they set it all up and they started processing all these helicopter pilots and setting up these talks. And then Operation Airdrop stepped in and did their thing. So they Operation Airdrop had a big kind of centralized location there as well. So these are the people who are giving the mission cards to these helicopter pilots. So these helicopter pilots would come in, they would file their tail number, they would say, I'm here, and then they would grab a mission card. And then they'd go out on these missions. So the first 3 missions that I had, I said, I got these, they're vetted. Um, I know these people personally that are asking for help. I'll go there. So the first one was that medical drop for Aaron down in south of Burnsville, and then that was freaking amazing because they needed that stuff, man. I brought them insulin, lidocaine, IV starters, tubes, so just medical supplies that they needed to take care of the wounded and take care of the sick. So we got that stuff input or dropped off there, and then we flew around back to the next. It was a welfare check for one of my friend's uncles. They hadn't heard from him in a couple days. We flew around their property. Everything was destroyed. So like you're thinking like in the back of your mind, you're always like, man, I can't wait to find these people who are alive. But again, you're thinking like you might be the one to deliver the devastating news that you found their deceased family member somewhere. So that's kind of always like in the back of your mind. You're thinking like, all right, this could be the worst news I can ever pass, but also it could be some of the best news that they could receive all week. So we flew around this property and it was totally decimated all over the place. There's bridges that were gone, the roads were washed out. So like we were looking down being like, damn, there's a creek down there. Well, those freaking creeks were actually roads that had been washed away and turned into a dang creek. So we're following this road up. Yep, there he is right there. So we're following this road up, and there's Aaron. And we landed at his house, which was kind of sketchy to get into. And immediately when we landed, this guy starts walking out of this camper. And I was like, dude, that's him. That's the guy we're looking for. So I hop out and I was like, hey, man, I was sent down here for a welfare check through some people, told him their names. He goes, no way. He was so blown away that somebody had thought that far in advance for him to send a helicopter out. And I said, dude, this is our job. This is our sole mission in life is to get accountability of the people and help wherever we can. So we got accountability of him. And since, I mean, these are small haulers and stuff that these people live in. So everybody knows everybody. So we were able to make contact with some of these individuals. We immediately had accountability of that whole entire road or that whole entire area. So he was able to tell me like, yep, everybody's good. We found a supply of water. Like we can get in with ATVs and side by sides. So we have food, we have water. Everybody on this road is good. So that being said, we kind of like checked that box off and we reported back to the command center like, hey, this entire area, this region is good. they'd block it off on their map and say, oh, okay, cool. We can, if we get any more phone calls to this area, we know that they're good, you know, because we were boots on the ground and we had absolute information vetted through these individuals on the ground. So
Matt, real quick, this water that I see on the ground, what I keep hearing is like, hey, when you see aerial photos and you see rivers and streams, those are used to be roads. Is that one of
that's
those
correct.
situations?
100%.
So that river right there, that perfect river flowing through, that used to be a road.
Most like, yeah, most likely that was probably, yep, that was a road. So a lot of the spots I had, you know, taken video of, they used to be roads. And at first, like I said, man, from the air, everything kind of looks different than when you're on the ground. So from the air, I was like, dang, there's a lot of creeks and streams through here. And then as we flew a little bit closer, we could see the bridges that were broken apart and the road that was crumbled away. So, and you're talking like most of these smaller towns, they have all their sewer and all their water lines underneath these roads. So when those roads broke apart, so did all the pipes, so did all the water treatment facilities. They're gone. Newland, North Carolina, gone, decimated. They need help.
Like
Banner Elk, North
a whole
Carolina,
town gone.
the whole town is gone. You know, all their treatment facilities. Another one was Chimney Rock, gone, like absolutely just destroyed. Um, Burnsville got hit hard. Other areas like Banner Up, I mentioned before, they had some serious issues on the outlining areas of the town. Now, if you know anything about Banner Elk, or anybody who's listening knows about Banner Elk, it's a, you know, predominantly wealthy area, but those people don't live there full time. The people who live there full time, I think the per capita income is like $25,000 to $30,000 a year, so it's very low. So these people need help. You know, yeah, you fly over and see multi-million-dollar homes, but those people don't live there. They weren't even there. They're not affected. So these people on the ground who are there need the help, you know, and that's what we're trying to do, is just continue to try to find the help. I mean, I have not taken a breath or a break yet since I got home. I've been home since I got home Sunday night, and I was on the phone all day Monday, coordinating helicopter drops, coordinating rescue efforts. And still to this day, I coordinated a bunch of medical drops yesterday at Ashe County Airport. So like I have a really hard time stepping away. I
Well,
need
how do
to.
you get the time off your job? How do you get the time off your
I've been
job?
doing so. I've been working both, man. So during the day, I'm at work, you know, working the regular 9 to 5, and then in the meantime, like my sister has been like a tremendous help. So she's been kind of helping me coordinate. I say, hey, Kate, I got these people. They're dropping off insulin, and they're dropping off. She dropped last night. We had a drop of insulin, parvo medication for dogs, some dog food,
What
and
does that look
some
like?
more.
Does the helicopter actually land, or is it
Oh yeah.
it
No,
does land?
they land. So most of the guys would land and do what's called a hot load or hot offload, meaning they'd keep the blades spinning, they'd keep the engine on. The one guy that I was with
Would you land
on,
in a field like that? Like, how do you is that
yeah,
like
as long as there was no wires and as long as there was no trees, like, so the military, they say 100 by 100. So 100 foot by 100 foot, flat and level is what they want. So some of these civilian helicopter pilots, obviously the helicopters are much smaller and less powerful. So you don't have that downwash happening and you don't have all that crazy, you know, rotor wash going on. So we can get into smaller and tighter areas. So we were able to land in some pretty tight spots. There's I don't think I posted it, but there's a video of us dropping down into some guy's house who was frantically waving his arms, looking for help. And basically all he wanted to do is tell us that he was good. And I think he hadn't talked to anybody in a week. So he just wanted to have a conversation with somebody, but it was good. We weren't mad about it because again, communication, right? Those
Right.
guys can't communicate up. So he was just saying, hey, we're all good. Everybody on this road is good. So that was another box for us to check. All right, this area is good, and that was what we were trying to do. But yeah, we can land pretty much anywhere, man. I landed in some pretty sketchy spots. I dropped off 3 bottles of oxygen in a generator to this area that was covered by uh, like power lines, and the power lines, if they're obviously nobody had power, but the thing is getting caught up in the blades. I mean, you catch a power line and a blade, your bird's going down, man. You're smashing into the ground. So you know, wind can be a factor, pilot errors. There's so many different factors that can take you into those power lines. So it's almost like one of those things, you don't want to get target fixated on it. So you're looking as a pilot, you're like, all right, I'm not going to look at the wire. Just tell me how close I am, and I'm going to look straight at the ground where I want to land, because you get target fixated on wherever you look. So
Like when
I
you
was
ride a bike and you have to go through those fire poles,
Yeah,
The worst
exactly.
thing you
Yeah.
can do is look at the poles. You gotta look between them.
It's the
B
same type of thing. And
By the
then
way,
the other cool,
if anyone needs a penis pump, the exerciser's willing to donate, a penis pump. You just let me know.
we could drop it off to some people in need, I guess.
Right, you let me
Um, some of the coolest stuff that I kind of like ran into and encountered was I was able to just plug in GPS coordinates, and knowing what I know from the ground, I was able just to have the helicopter pilots fly the dang bird, and I was able to tell him exactly where to go, how far he was out, nautical miles, all that, just because of our training as a seer guy. I was able to get up in the bird and literally fly this guy to locations that I wanted to. So he kind of stopped paying attention to the mission cards and would just be like, "Yo, where are we going next?" And I would tell him, I'd give him a heading, and I would give him, a range and bearing, and we would be there. So it's kind of a unique thing. I was getting texts in the air telling me where to go. And so we were just getting these texts, and we were flying to those locations and doing welfare checks and dropping supplies to people that needed them. And I think that was a major push in the beginning. And now it's just ground effort trying to get these supply centers the supplies they need.
how bad is it? I wanna ask you 2 questions. How bad is it? And one of the stories that I heard that concerned me was when, Haiti had its earthquake, the 82nd Airborne was there in 2 days, and it took them a week to get to North Carolina. Do you so first, how bad is it? And then I'm curious if you have any thoughts on the response.
Yeah, it's terrible. And I told my wife, I said, it's a war zone. Like I've seen some bombed out places before. I mean, it's totally obliterated, man. Like it's gone. Like everything's gone. So people are just operating. It's like a third world country, man. Like nobody has running water, nobody has electricity, nobody has buildings, nobody has anywhere to sleep, nobody has water, like nothing. It's gone. It's terrible. It's terrible. Some of the worst stuff, the worst devastation I've ever seen in my
How big
entire
is the
life.
area? How big is the area?
Oh gosh, I mean, I
Like, how
would
long would it
say,
take to drive from one side of the fucking,
well, with the mountains and shit, it's probably like 2.5 hours, maybe.
and the road network's completely destroyed too?
Yeah. So it's getting better now to where like you can drive to some of these places. Like you can drive to Burnsville, you can drive to Pensacola Fire Station, and a couple days ago you couldn't. And when I say you can drive there, like you're able to get there. It might not be fun, but you're at least able to drive a vehicle there, a truck there. So I mean, it's still washed out. It's still bad, but you can safely ish get to these locations now. Now there are some places that you still can't get to, but guys are cutting roads side by sides. I mean, there's dudes on the ground cutting trees down so they can get access to side by sides and four wheelers, so people can at least get supplies. But as far as like the response time, like I know the 101st was there. There's National Guards there now. That was as of I think Monday, but the the response time was very, very slow. So I don't know. There's lots of conspiracies going on. And I know that our unit up here was like ready to go, but they had to wait for Title 10 orders or they had to wait for orders essentially to come down and help. But we were ready. Like everybody wanted to help, but we just had to wait for that disaster notification to come across, and it never did. So, like, if you look at Governor DeSantis, before Hurricane Milton, he preemptively said, "I'm gonna I'm gonna call for this, immediate response, and we need to make stuff happen now before this hurricane hits." That never was the case in North Carolina, and I still don't think it's kind of a high priority. I feel like this other hurricane just kind of masks everything else going around. Hope that's not the case, but I mean, there's still
Could they
civilian
not have
efforts.
known in defense of the governor of North Carolina, could he have not known or she not known?
I don't know. I don't know if he. I mean, you had to have known, man. I mean, social media and everything else, but like
But I mean, prior
mainstream.
to it hitting, is it odd that a hurricane came in there and got this area? Like, is this just a one-off? Like, I looked like the last massive storm like this, from what I saw online, there was one like this in 1916. I think that killed 100 people in the same area, which is
Yeah,
a totally different, obviously a totally different world then. But could he have not known? Like, what is the reason? Is it just poor management, poor communication, poor? Like, do you have any thoughts on why it would be delayed?
I just think that it's poor, maybe not poor management. Like you have to put yourself in the perspective of like it's election time. They're trying to get everything in line for their respective parties to try to do stuff. Like and you maybe forget about some of the natural disasters that are occurring. I don't know. I don't know if it wasn't prioritized. I don't know if it was just a lack of thought. Surely it wasn't a lack of care, because we're all humans, right? We all have care about something, but like, it's your own state, maybe expedite some of the stuff. Or my other thought was, maybe it would look bad if he then turned around later and said, I need help. Like, no man wants to ask for help, right? Let's face it. I don't want to ask for help if I need help.
Right.
So like, maybe it was something to do with pride or something like that. Like, I don't want all these other states coming in to help. But at the end of the day, Americans were helping Americans, and we got the job done. Like, we got the job done. I raised money for fuel costs, and thank you to all the people that helped me raise money for fuel costs, because there was a lady out of Ashe County, pretty well-known realtor in the area. She was personally paying for all the gas for the helicopter flights out of Ashe County
Wow.
Airport. Like, I said, I need to do something for you. I need to help you. I've got this
What is that?
fundraiser going
Puts down
on.
a credit card and like 50 and says, hey, you can charge it up to 50 grand or
I
something.
guess, yeah. I mean, yeah, her points.
Filling helicopters and planes isn't cheap.
No, I think the gas was like 5.30 a gallon. And we were going through probably, let me think, 25. It's everything's in pounds for jet fuel, but we were going probably through 25 to 30 gallons per mission. And we would come back for gas every 2 hours so we were going through probably 40 to 50 gallons per day, if not more than that, on some of these smaller birds. Now, some of the larger ones obviously suck more fuel, but
Right.
I mean, it was expensive. If I had to put a number on it, I would probably say she spent $20,000, maybe more.
What about this? So we're getting so many mixed messages. Do you have any idea what the truth is? So head of Homeland Security, Mayorkas, came out and gave a speech and said that they have spent the money, that there wasn't adequate money. We actually saw the budget come out, the documents come out where they had spent, $700 million helping illegal migrants. FEMA had actually used that money for them, and that he straight up said, we're running out of money, or we've run out of money, and that if there's another hurricane, I'm guessing he meant Milton, we're not going to have anything for that because this one's already taken it. And then now they're backpedaling. They're saying that they never said that. But I mean, we've all seen the videos. Is there and then also we're hearing about the application process to get the $750 or to get help, the application process you have to go through, as opposed to the migrants who are just getting $1,000 EBT cards handed out like candy and $4,000 vouchers for housing. Is that as big of a deal as we're seeing on social media as it feels on the
I think
ground?
so. And I think most of the people who are on the ground, who live through and houses got affected and their lives got affected by these storms, I think that they're not to a point yet where they're even thinking about trying to get help from any one of these organizations. So I don't really think that I did hear a story about somebody on the outskirts that were affected, but not in the area that the government said they should be affected in, if that makes sense. So they have like corridors. They were right outside that corridor. Their house was completely destroyed. They filed and then got denied that filing application. So like, I don't know.
Because of some arbitrary boundary.
Yeah, so I don't know the truth behind like the money. Obviously, like, that's way above my pay grade and what I'm here for. But I think that one rumor that I did hear is that FEMA does have a separate account for like natural disaster. So aside from all the migrants and everything. So I'm not quite sure, like, financially, if that how true that is. And I know I've seen the documents as well, and I've also seen, my wife feeds me all kinds of like um tinfoil hat like conspiracy theorists online, saying that there's radiation and all kinds of like electrical fields that we're trying to push this hurricane and keep it in that area for certain mining effects, and to mine quartz and lithium and things for like electric batteries for cars and stuff. But that's all here nor there. It's kind of like, it is what it is, and it's all just at this time a conspiracy, right? And we can all talk about it and look at all the graphs and everything else. But there's one I found on TikTok. I wish I had the link. Somebody sent me on TikTok that had a guy explaining the North Carolina mountains, and then how these storms affected all the low-lying areas. And it was crazy just to look at all the, I mean, obviously anybody that's uses a little bit of common sense, water goes downhill, right? And you can kind of
Right.
see this, but he kind of looked at it from a perspective of all these haulers that don't normally get the water, where all the water rushed in, just using like topographical maps and showing everybody like the effects and all the areas that would be the hardest hit, which like everything like kind of funneled into like Lake Lure and that whole area there. So Chimney Rock, Lake Lure. So like it does make sense that everything kind of flowed down that way. And you can see some of these pictures of some of this stuff. So somebody just texted me the link of that, what we were just talking about. So but yeah,
He's suggesting that is the guy. I wasn't able to follow that exactly. Is he suggesting that everything that happened is pretty normal, or the
he
opposite?
is, but normal for the fact of if a lot of water ran in there. So I think he was more talking about like from a meteorologist standpoint, like this is what's going to happen, right? If you get a lot of rain in this one area, this is where it's all going to flow and dump to. So he didn't. I
I'm
don't
not.
think he really got into.
I'm not so concerned about weather modification at this point. I just find it bizarre that the head of Homeland Security would come on and say we're out of money, and that the budget, and that they would also release on the same day the announcement of $157 million going to Lebanon, and I mean these aren't conspiracies, and that the budget is, since 2023 they've spent $700 million on illegal aliens for FEMA federal, and then now literally the White House press secretary is walking it back and saying that's not true. And I know what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to talk about nuances. They're going to say, well, it was a different bucket. Well, I don't think that matters if it's the federal. What's FEMA stand for? Federal Emergency. I don't even know what it stands for. Something agency. It's just fucking nuts that these people would be there. In all honesty, 208. It's as big as you're saying it is. This is a fucking country with a lot of money, and it should be something that should be able to be taken care of rather quickly.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it was prioritized. And like I said, there's people who need help, and it's all civilians, all just Americans helping Americans down there on the ground. Like,
Which is cool, and I'm okay with it.
But it shouldn't be like that, man.
But
It
it
shouldn't
shouldn't
be
be like
like
that.
that,
You're
right?
right. You're right.
We shouldn't have to, as an American citizen, you shouldn't have to worry about something like this happening and not having your government take your back. So it's definitely like concerning, and it's frustrating. It's super frustrating. But at the same time, my wife said, she goes, doesn't it feel like September 12th? And September 12th, the day after 9/11, was the most patriotic day that I can remember from my life. Like everybody was on board. Everybody was like, "Hoo-yah, America! Let's go kill these people who came into our country." Yada yada yada. Being down in North Carolina, seeing all these people help out, didn't care if you're brown, black, whatever, no race, no nothing. Everybody was helping everybody, and there's not one bad thing said about any of those people. So, and you bring up 9/11, or I brought up 9/11, but you bring up the photo, and it's like, dude, that's why I joined the military, man. That's like one of the biggest factors of what made me want to join the military, is do something about it. And I'm a doer. And my motto this week has been, don't just be about it, or don't just talk about it, be about it. Everybody can talk about it. I had so many people ask me, "Oh, what can I do to help? Where can I be? Where can I go?" I said, just show up. Just stop talking about it. Close your phone, shut your phone off, and drive there. It's that easy, man. Just do it. And I asked one of my buddies, Austin, I said, dude, I asked a couple people, I said, bro, what, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being you want to sit at your house and give me $20, and 10 being you want to be boots on the ground, hand delivering supplies, where are you at right now? He goes, oh, I'm at a 10. I'm at a 10. I want to go. I said, all right, show up at my house 3:30 in the morning. Tomorrow we'll leave. And that's exactly what we did. We left at like 4 in the morning, and we drove down to North Carolina. And I had several other people say, oh, I'm at like a 4 or 5. I said, I don't want you. No offense. I love you, but I don't want you. I need somebody who's at a 10, not a 9, not a 9.5, somebody who's at a 10 who doesn't care about anything else other than to put yourself in that situation, bring the supplies to the people that need it. Because at the time, that's what needed to happen. Now it's a little bit different. We're shifting into like a different stage of this recovery effort. But at the time last week, that's what needed to happen. People who knew what they were doing, people who had the assets and the abilities and the resources, they needed to get there and just do it. And that's what everybody was there to do. They didn't care about anything else. They didn't care about their jobs. They didn't care about anything but to help the people down there in North Carolina.
Matt, how do people die in storms like this? Is this trees falling on them, or is it getting electrocuted in water, or like how do you die in a storm, or does it pick you
I
up?
think this one was, man, this was so I read a story earlier about this guy whose house got swept off the side of a hill. And I mean, you think like if you live near a river and the river's rising and it's rising and rising and rising, it doesn't stop and takes your house from you, you think your house is safe.
So I did see image of a guy. I couldn't see clearly, but the guy who was narrating it said you can see someone on the porch, and it showed this house just kind of crumble into it was a big house on the side of
I
the
was
river.
there. We went to that house. So let me
And
tell you, I went to that
okay.
house. I saw it firsthand. I saw exactly where that house was. It was gone. It was gone. Like it
And there
was
was a
gone. And
guy
I'm
in
pretty
there.
sure
And there was a guy
like
in there.
what's that?
And there was a guy in there when it got
Yeah,
swept
yeah.
away.
So he got out, and the
He
story that
did.
I
That
read
guy
this morning,
survived.
there was another case. Yeah, so he got out, and his wife ended up getting swept away with the house. Him and his boy, I'll have to pull up the name, but him and his boy got out, and his wife got swept away. And the last thing that he hears her saying is "Watch out, help!" and then screaming, and then she got washed away with the house. So I think a lot of people in this storm were just caught off guard with how fast the water was rising, and probably drowned. Either that, got knocked unconscious, and then found themselves in the water, right? Because things are crumbling down around you. You know, let's think about a catastrophic moment. Like things are crumbling down around you. Your house is breaking apart. Something hits you in the head, lands on top of you. Now you're unconscious, and then the water just takes you away. I
So
think
it's
some
like
of
an
these people,
avalanche. It's like a slow moving
yeah,
avalanche. You're just
yeah, I
the
think some of
ground
these
and everything.
people were, that everybody says like, oh, I hope they didn't die a painful death. I don't think they, I think it was just they were knocked out and then they're gone. They got swept away. So but now it's like, our focus was, my focus was bringing tourniquets and bringing like individual first aid kits to people, because now with the cleanup efforts, I remember in Hurricane Fran in like the 90s, I helped out and a lot of people got messed up and like cut themselves with chainsaws, trees falling on them. So like the death and the aftermath of the storm is also severe because people don't know what they're doing. They get a chainsaw in their hand and then bad shit happens, right? So it's just these storms, especially like in areas like this and with all the wind that Milton brought in Florida, like that's what you got to be careful of. You just got to have the wits about you to look around and use some common sense when you're trying to these cleanup efforts. So man, it's just crazy down there, and I'm addicted to going back and helping. And we've teamed up with some cities. So the city that I live in, our mayor has teamed up with the city of Banner Elk, and we're going to help them out as much as possible and start doing food drives and generator drives for them because they need generators, they need oxygen. So it's kind of a good thing that this stuff happened because we're now friends with our neighbors, if you will, and just have these relationships built. Like I've met so many awesome people in the last week that are just willing to do whatever they can. So there's good that comes out of it. And I think that's another thing to kind of cope with this is find all the goods and the positives of things that happen.
These towns that are gone, what happened? Do they rebuild in general?
Some of them I don't know if you have the means to, and unfortunately, it might be up to I hate to say it, but the government might say these areas are condemned. You never know. Like I don't know what the infrastructure is going to cost. I don't know how long that's going to take. It could take years. People are saying, "Oh, we might not have power for another week." Bro, you might not have power for another 4 months. Like nobody knows what the outcome's going to be of this yet. I mean, we're in stage like 1.5 of this effort to try to get to stage 10. You know what I mean? So
What's the biggest
we're in the
town that's
very early
gone? And
stages.
are there towns there that have like 4,000 people that are just gone? Like
I'm
it's
sure. Yeah, I don't
yeah.
know. Look up the population of Chimney Rock, because that area got pretty decimated. Burnsville's another one. I mean, Burnsville lost a lot of homes. They lost people, but they lost a lot of homes as well. Um, I don't know. I mean, just the infrastructure. If you think about all the roads that need to be refixed, the dirt that needs to be moved to reinforce these areas, the sewer lines, the water lines, the power lines. I mean, you're talking Sim City trying to build these towns again.
It
It's
says
going to take years.
it says population 140, elevation 2,600. So are these drive-through towns?
Most of these are just drive through towns. Yeah, so these smaller towns. So like Burnsville's a little bit bigger. Lake Lure's a little bit bigger, and then a lot of these towns are tourist towns. So like Banner Elk is more, I would call a tourist town because people have vacation homes there and Airbnbs. So I think the process is going to take a lot longer than what people are thinking, because just the devastation of seeing it firsthand is insane.
God, what a beautiful place Chimney Rock is.
Yeah, I mean, I remember going there as a kid, and my wife and I, we went there probably 2 years ago for a Spartan race, and she doesn't really remember much of being there. But I said, you got to think back and look at these places, and I mean, everything's gone. There's another picture floating around the internet of that same angle, and you can
Yeah.
see that river behind you just wash everything out. So it's crazy. It is just a tremendous loss for everybody living there that goes there. I mean, but again, looking at the positives of all those said Airbnbs, people are giving Airbnbs for free. They're, offering up their homes for people to stay in that need help. So again, Americans helping Americans all across the board.
Will you be doing anything with in Florida?
I don't think so. I think they got hit pretty hard with some wind stuff. My buddy Spencer from Florida, that's his handle on Instagram. If he needs help, he'll reach out. But I think right now I mean, I shouldn't say they're good, but I mean, they've got a lot of effort going on there. But the storm surge wasn't as bad as what they thought initially. And, my focus is still on North Carolina, getting these people back up and running. My heart's there. My resources are there. And I think that's just a goal for me, is to kind of see the end in sight. So I've got a couple pallets of, oh, you know what? Just a quick shout out.
Please.
I don't know if you can do this, but Black Rifle Coffee has been an absolute just gem of a company. I had one of their reps call me. I guess Matt Best had saw one of our videos and said, call this guy. They called me and like, what do you need? I said, instant coffee, creamer, sweatshirts. It's getting cold. And he's like, I guess they have a bunch of sweatshirts that got messed up on the print. And he goes, I got a bunch of misprints. I'll send everything I got to you. He's sending me
Crazy cool.
3 pallets worth of stuff from Black Rifle Coffee. So, companies like that who just don't care, they're like, what do you need? We'll send it. No questions asked. They sent it.
Hey, any of the
So
big monster companies sending anything out? Like, do you see anything? Like, do you see Coca-Cola, Pfizer? You see any of the giant companies send anything
I
out?
didn't. So
Toyota sends out trucks.
I
People send out
know
cars. Anything?
Lowe's, some of like this, like the Lowe's, Home Depot, I know they sent cases of water, or not cases, but pallets of water, skids of water and stuff. So I have not seen any large company donate anything from me firsthand, but I could be wrong. But that's just me being in 3 different airports. I was in Hickory, Lumberton, or not Lumberton, but Morganton and Ashe County. And we just saw regular old people like me and you dropping off supplies that we had. So yeah.
Carol H, not to mention, we're not talking solely about houses, but also people's businesses that were involved. Where will these people work and make money in order to be able to live there? It's a great point. Their whole life,
That is a
basically,
great point.
people's
And
whole life
I'm
was swept away.
yeah. And being a small business owner myself, it's like if that was gone, I mean, I don't make a ton of money off my gym, but if it was gone, I mean, that's a livelihood for us, man. That's a huge social network. That's a huge, just well-being of the people. I mean, it's gone, right? You don't have that anymore. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Did you take your son by any chance to any of these missions?
No, I didn't. I went by myself. Just my
You
buddy Austin
tempted?
and I went down there.
Oh, is it Austin from the Austin that works with Hunter who's putting on this event?
No, different
Oh,
Austin.
oh,
Austin
oh.
Harper. He's here in West Virginia.
Daniel Garrity says Taylor Swift sent 5 million. Oh
She
shit.
did. I saw that today. And as much as people talk shit about Taylor Swift, she did. She sent 5 million both
Awesome.
to the Hurricane Helene and then Hurricane Milton. So yeah, she did, and that's awesome. I'm like, I'm not a Swiftie, but dude, I'll jam out to some Taylor Swift, and I get behind her. And I know people talk shit about her, but she's the real deal, and I'm sure she's got to offload a ton of money before the end of the year, anyways.
I heard Dolly Parton gave $2 million.
She did. Dolly Parton gave $2 million to Tennessee.
And I
Where's
heard
another
that
one
she
I
got
saw?
on Chimney Rock and flashed her tits so that it would just draw some national
Oh
attention.
man, that would be awesome if she did.
God, that would be what great attention that would get.
Yeah.
What
We got a
about what
book.
about
My
doing
wife
some
got a book in
what about
some
doing
like
something creative like that? Be like, start a live stream on YouTube and put her on Chimney Rock and be like, when this GoFundMe reaches $1 million, I'll lift my shirt up past the nipple line.
she would make so much money. I mean, she's old, but man,
I'd take
yeah, that'd be
I'd throw 20 at it.
My wife got this book, this Dolly Parton book for like this white elephant Christmas exchange thing, and I ended up giving it to her dad. But dude, that woman has so like wardrobe upon wardrobe of clothes and all kinds of shit. Like, just give away half your clothes to all these people.
I always thought, Matt, that it would have been awesome if they did a death match between Saddam and George Bush and did a pay-per-view and charged $100 and just put him in a cage and let him fight. Wouldn't that have fucking raised so much money?
Dude, there's so many like instances like that where you could probably make a shit ton of money. Just nobody would actually fucking do it. But
Yeah.
oh my God, I have so many ideas. Like
P.
I have
P.
so many
Diddy in a
ideas.
cage versus Usher and Bieber 2-on-1
Yeah. Yeah, just
pay-per-view.
people who are like
Just let them
quasi
fight it
pissed
out.
off at each other all the time.
Yeah. Oh my God. Sponsored by Johnson's and Johnson's baby oil.
Yeah.
God, it's so many missed opportunities.
Yeah,
Carrie, I'll flash my
seriously.
kids for $20. Wow, that's really sweet of you. That can't really be the Carrie. That can't really be the. I don't think this is. This cannot be. Pfizer. Yeah, the best way to prepare for hurricanes to get vaxxed. Right. Yeah, great. Yeah, make sure you do that. Vax people don't drown. Oh, it isn't her, Barry. That was my guess yesterday. Someone's impersonating my guess from yesterday. Maybe someone tomorrow will be impersonating you, Matt.
Maybe.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh, all right. Yes, it is. Okay, sorry. Not an impersonator.
And then has Dildo came on yet? His little username Dildo.
He DM'd me yesterday and said, "Hey, that's the gym I go to." And I was like,
Yeah.
wow, what a fucking small.
He'd be pissed. His name's Tyler. He'd be so mad if I didn't give him a shout out. He's probably listening at work, just stroking himself, waiting for it. So there you go, Tyler.
I don't even remember who. Oh, it was the guy. It was the graphics guy.
Oh, James.
The
shiz.
Yeah, he unfortunately, I really like him, but he's got a droid, so he can never be higher than a 5 out of 10 in my book. But I get a little green message from him the other day saying, "Hey," and he sent me your Instagram account, and I was like, "Oh, I would love to have this guy on and hear his firsthand experience."
Yeah, man. No, it's been great. Like I said, I just like to go to, and it wasn't anything for. I was like, I know my expertise. I know what I'm capable of. I know my resources. I need to go and make it happen, and that's exactly what I did. And I took anybody along with me who was on the same page, and that was
Did you
one
think
person.
about taking your son?
No, just because
he'd slow it down, and this wasn't like a
yeah, and it just wasn't a kid thing to do. Like the areas we were, I mean, it just wasn't. Now, if I could drive him in like manual labor help, yeah, 100%. But what we went out to do last week, nah, he wouldn't have been able to fly. He would have been bored, not knowing what to do in these, incident command centers, and it was too much. It would have been too much. But definitely like hard labor type of cleanup stuff. Like, yeah, I think anybody and everybody should be involved in that if they can.
Hey, let me ask you a gruesome question. Were there any spots that are there any spots in the area where it's like all the dead bodies, the dead horses, the dead deer, all like piling up, like from the stream where it's like, fuck, have you been over to blah 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 spot? It's horrible.
I saw a picture of Lake Lure from above, like an aerial footage shot that all the shit that's been piling up in Lake Lure. I heard that there's stuff like that there. You could definitely in some spots smell it, and I can't confirm nor deny if it was like human scent or dead like livestock, but there you could definitely get into areas where you can smell it, and all they told us to do is just mark it on a GPS, and they, being the incident command center, just said mark it on a GPS and go about your business, because our business here is trying to find people who need help who are alive, not body recovery missions yet.
God, this Lake Lure is beautiful too. This is just crazy country. What an amazing look at this. Look at this spot. That's a hotel on Lake Lure, so I'm assuming maybe that's gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look up the Lake Lure aerial footage of the aftermath, because it was somebody had posted it on, some photographer had posted it online.
And it's
Instagram.
the lake's just covered with debris, the whole entire top of it.
Debris, pieces of house, pieces of, just trees, debris. I mean, it was crazy how much shit was
Oh
on.
yeah. Oh yeah. Here's a YouTube video of it. Holy cow. Oh my goodness.
And that's where it all flowed to, man. Most of it. I shouldn't
That's
say all of it, but most of it.
that's the low point.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And look, it looks like some structure survived on the edge.
Yep.
I wonder what, oh my God, I can't believe that place is standing. Okay, so if you get washed in the water with that stuff, you're dead.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, even if you're able to float, like as soon as you get bashed around and that stuff, like that's it, man. You're gonna get pulled under or something. That's crazy.
16.
Crazy. All right. When is your event in California?
That event is going to be October 24th. So we leave, and then it's Thursday through Sunday. It's a 4-day event. We got all different types of stuff. We got grit day, field day, survivor day, and kind of like a combat related day, I guess you want to call it. So we got 4 kind of categories of events that we're going to bring our athletes through, and we got 24 men, 24 women who
Are they doing any
competed in an
streaming with
online
that?
qualifier beginning of the year, and now they're going to meet at the HybriCon Games at Catalina Island.
Any streaming of that?
Yeah, so I mean, Austin's gonna stream. I don't know if we're gonna focus as much on live streaming as we did last year, because our focus was live stream last year, and it never ends up being what you want it to be. So I think this year they're just gonna film it and then try to make some sort of documentary out of it after the fact. So I think more people will watch it that way, because not everybody wants to sit there and try to figure out what's going on during a live stream if you don't have like people who are there trying to announce it and like direct it.
If you've never been to Catalina and you're looking for an excuse to go, it is a really, really cool island off the coast of California, and it's
Yeah.
relatively cheap. And I bet you it's cheaper than ever in October. So if you
It
need an
is, yeah.
excuse
But
to go
everything's
out there,
booked. Everything's booked
it
out
is.
till like February. It's crazy. Like we have to camp out. Like we're gonna be in tents. So
No shit,
Yeah.
Catalina's that popular, huh?
yeah. Well, on the side we're going. So there's the what the Avalon side, and then the Island Company side. The other side, there's two harbors. Sorry, two harbors. So Avalon books up, and then Two Harbors is very, very, very small. It's just like a little inlet with, I think, only like 20 people actually live there full time, and then people just kind of boat in there or come over from the Avalon side. So we're gonna be on the Two Harbors side, getting things done.
You know what's a trip about Catalina is it reminds me of like, I don't know, some super luxury island like in
Yeah,
Europe,
it's like
and yet it's all the ghetto
people.
people from the Inland Empire. It's like
Yeah,
all
it's almost like
the
like
people there.
Spain.
Yeah.
It's like a different country. It's like you're like, damn, am I in a different country? Like, am I going to Spain or somewhere? Like, you pull up, it's kind of weird, and then it's just a little, like, nice little place, and a lot of people from LA and like all the rich people go out there and just vacation, quote unquote.
Yeah, but when I was walking around the town, it felt like it was like where gangbangers go to take a break.
Yeah, well, that's like Catalina wine mixer type of thing. Like and there's stories about when the Wrigley's bought it, like that's kind of what it was, man. It was like the Wrigley's would have these wild, crazy parties out there. I don't know how much of it's true because it was like 60 years ago, but yeah, like there's all kinds of stories about people on the Avalon side having these wild parties and shit.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
I bet P. Diddy was there.
On Catalina?
100%, yeah.
He should have just rented the whole island.
He might have. I don't know.
Yeah. How are you getting out there? Are you taking the ferry or?
Yeah, we're taking a ferry. So we got a private ferry taking us out, all the athletes on one boat. And then once we're there, we're going to be at a campsite, and then we're coming out, same thing, private ferry on the way back.
That's cool. All right, dude. Thank you, Matt, for coming on. Matt Stevens, I really appreciate it. Stay in touch. If you have any other stuff you'd like to report, come back on anytime. Just shoot me a text and I'll have you back on and we'll chat.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we'll probably come back on talking about rally and my whole thing that we're going to try to ramp up. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
What are the dates on that?
Rally is going to be the end of, it's Labor Day weekend. So end of August, the last weekend of August, 2025. We got all kinds of good stuff coming at you. Most all of our athletes are going to be back from next year. We just need some sponsorship. So jump on board if you want to be a part of it.
And thank you. I'm glad there's good guys like you in the U.S. military. Thank you for what you do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
All right. And don't take advantage of that transition surgery. I like you the way you are. All right, brother. Have a good one.
We'll see you.
Bye. Matt Stevens. God. That's a real man. That dude's doing man shit. That's why we're put here on earth, to help other people. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Is today Thursday? I can't believe tomorrow morning I'm getting up at 5 to start Crash Crucible. Susan's probably on the ground there. Wonder if I have do I have Dallin Peppers? I think Dallin's going to Crash. How do I text Dallin Pepper? I wonder if he'll come on for a second. Well, there you go. Someone on the ground. Oh, I almost sent the invite to the wrong Dallin. Let's see if I'll send Colton over I can't even see my phone this close anymore. Let's see maybe if Colton and Dallin could come on for a second. See what's going on. Who else is over there? Is there another event going on this weekend? Oh, what is this? Peace Corps ruined my life. Sam Stewart and Lydia Fish. I'm pumped for this event. Hiller said it's going to take him an extra hour and a half to get to JR's because of the rerouting of the roads because of that hurricane. There was some video I wanted to play you. Oh yeah, look at this. This is Trump's giving a speech. This is Trump giving a speech. Oh, this is funny. This is so good. Oh, he got slammed for this? This was so funny. How is this? This is Trump saying, where's the gays for Trump? I guess he was speaking somewhere and gays for Trump were there.
Where's gays for Trump? You don't look good. He said, you don't look good. Where's gays for Trump? You don't look good.
Some Democrat accounts posted it on X trying to slam Trump, and all the comments were from gay people saying they thought it was funny. We're in different times now. Yeah, dude, people are done with that shit. How is this guy not going to win? I saw the fucking craziest post yesterday. You know what's happening? You know what's happening is the Democrats are trying to bring the class system back. They want there to be a class system, but I saw some Democrats accusing Trump of being racist and being divisive and seeing everything as gender and race and sex, and I'm thinking to myself, I never hear anyone on the right doing that game ever. That's all coming from the left. They're trying to bring the class system. I remember when I was a kid, the class system was so frowned upon. It was why the country of India and even the United Kingdom, we would accuse the schools would accuse the United Kingdom of it. But they had these class systems, and we were so much better than them in the U.S. because we didn't have a class system. I realized yesterday that's what equity is. Equity is just trying to reinstall a class system. You suck. You're okay. You're privileged. It's just a complete fucking class system trying to be put in from the left. It's fucking nuts. You guys want to see the craziest shit? The craziest. This shit even makes me fucking uncomfortable. It takes a lot to make me uncomfortable. Like a lot. By the way, yesterday we got the Russell Berger. YouTube took down the Russell Berger video. I read an article from the AP Press on that show, or I referenced an article from the Associated Press that was published in 2019 regarding a disease that starts with a P and ends in an O. And I was referencing its current status on planet Earth. And they said that I can't say that on YouTube, even though it was from the Associated Press. Whoever the fuck they are. Yes, that's exactly right. Sevon, would a class system say black people are too dumb to use a computer? Yes. That's the class system. That's what they do. They're trying to convince everyone that if your skin is darker than a certain shade, you're inferior in every way. Okay, listen to this. I hope I don't get a strike for this shit. This shit is crazy. Here we go.
While interviewing Kamala Harris, Stern said he doesn't like Maya Rudolph's impersonation of Kamala on Saturday Night Live. Here's a short clip of Rudolph's Kamala character.
I am so happy to be campaigning in whatever swing state I'm in, which I will just refer to as Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia.
And here's Stern on why he doesn't like it.
Even when I watch them on Saturday Night Live with the where they have Maya Rudolph playing you, I hate it. I don't want you being made fun of. There's too much at stake. I believe the entire future of this country right now, I think it's literally on the line.
I agree with you.
Howard.
Okay. Now you ready? You're ready for this is fucking nuts what I'm about to show you. This is fucking Howard Stern. The same guy who said he doesn't like her being made fun of. None of this is even funny. This is Howard Stern in blackface.
Everything I'm going to say here tonight, so it's all right. Ain't that right, you smelly nigger? I didn't write that. Well, you is a smelly nigger. I got some more jokes for your New Year's Eve party there.
You're not tired of this.
And don't be racially offended, because Whoopi done wrote them for me, okay? Here we go.
Go ahead.
Black hole.
Black hole.
You're going to love this. Hello there. What do I loves most about the Whoopi? Oh, yeah.
Such a great timing.
Hey, Robin, what does you call a black rocket scientist?
I don't know.
A nigger. Whoopi wrote it. Whoopi wrote it. Hey, did you happen to notice this?
No, what is that?
This here's my mother, Mama Dancing. Why, she done work in blackface, too.
She must be very proud.
Yeah.
Now I know you really love me, Ted. You the man.
I tell you, you the man. What done happened to Sherman's career? It's really over the end. I want you to give us a kiss, you smelly cockhead coon. I love
May
you.
I say something here?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can say whatever you want, you smelly nigga.
That's what he called fucking Robin Quivers. That's what he fucking called Robin Quivers. I just, what the fuck was he thinking?
Whoopi wrote that.
That's it, Ted. You didn't know I was going to say that. Whoopi had no chance to write it. I don't accept that kind of language. You can call her whatever you want, but you don't talk to me that way or I'll leave.
Well, don't let the door hit you on your big black ass, mama, on the way out of here. Now, where was I? Everything.
The thing is I don't even see it as funny. It's not that I don't see it as funny. Like the other thing that he says where he's like, hey, you shouldn't make fun of Kamala because I think everything's on the line right now. That I can be like, that I can understand. I can be like, okay, if he really thinks that, then I get it. I can at least process it, whether I agree with him or not. This isn't even fucking funny. It's funny. They call. I guess that's where the term shock jock comes from. Because it's not funny. I guess it's just for shock value. Man. It's too on the nose to be funny. I don't even know what you mean by that. It's too on the nose. It's not even close to being accurate. I don't even get the even get the stereotypes. I don't see the humor at all. I don't know where the punchline is. I guess he's playing Ted Danson, who is married to Whoopi Goldberg, but I just don't get it. Oh, that's a Sevy nose joke? Oh, okay, good. Not even any of the stereotypes work. I can think of a lot of like inappropriate racist jokes, but at least they're funny. Or even if they're not funny, like I can be like, okay, that's how it was supposed to be funny. That was the punchline. He's just a fucking. And now he has an issue with people with Saturday Night Live making fun of and that one makes perfect sense because that's how she talks. Probably get a strike for that too, right? I think it was in the 90s. Maybe he did it in the 80s too. I think that was in the 90s. I just don't get. I even tried to like be like, okay, it was a different time then. But even if it was like, I still just don't get the joke. I don't see where the play is at all. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe someone can explain it to me. What is the difference between Iron Man and Iron Woman? One is a superhero, one is a command. Iron Man's a superhero. Iron One is a command. Iron Woman. Oh fuck! Someone's gonna have to explain that to me. You don't get the joke because you aren't one of them. You're not in the club. I guess. Iron Woman? Command? Iron. I don't get it. Iron Woman? I don't get it. How is that a command? One's a command? Iron Woman. Oh. Okay, I got it. Thank you. Jeez Louise. Got it. All right, good. That's good. Solid, clean joke. Solid. I like it. I don't know if it's duh. I don't know if it's duh or der. Who does der? Do you have a speech impediment? Thank you, Felicia. It took me as long to get it. Good. Thank you, Judy. Oh, that sucks that Judy got it. Fuck. All right, duh.
A fight in high school. 3 guys were saying disparaging things about my sister, 1 year younger than me. And I said, you can't talk about my sister like that. And I got in a huge fight with them, and I was beating the living dog poop out of them. And they pulled me down to the principal's office. He said, what if what they're saying about your sister is accurate? I went across the table and tried to punch him right at that point in time. And I had to be restrained. They had to call in the police. And I said, I'm going to kill you. You can't talk about my sister that way. And he's like, oh my God. So he calls my dad. He goes, he was in a fight. My dad said, so why are you calling me? We want to let you know your son was in a fight. He said, my dad said, what are the rules? What are the consequences of getting in a fight? He said, suspension. If my son got in a fight, you say the rules are that if you get in a fight, you get suspended. Suspend my son. Why are you calling me? So I got a 3-day suspension. I came home and I was furious. You betrayed me. He said, sit down. If you hadn't defended your sister's honor, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I'd be so disappointed in you. Never been more proud of you in my life. I said, okay, but why didn't you step in? He said, no. There are consequences for your actions. Just because you do the right thing doesn't mean you don't pay a price. You did the right thing, but it's not the right thing if you get away with it. It's the right thing because it was the right thing to do, but now you have to pay the price. You made a decision to break the rules, and I support that decision. You were defending the honor of your sister, but now you must pay the price, or else your actions are meaningless. If you stand up and do the right thing and you don't pay a price, you get away. It's too easy. He said, doing the right thing is sometimes the hardest thing in the world. That was one of the biggest lessons of my life. Do what's right, but be prepared to pay the price, that there's no free ride. And that was a huge lesson. It guided me in everything. I got in a fight in high school. 3 guys were saying despair.
I watched the interview with Andrew Schultz and Donald Trump yesterday, and man, it was. I like Andrew Schultz's comedy. I'm not a huge fan of his podcast. I always feel like it's fake. But man, Andrew Schultz and those 3 other guys fucking killed it. Donald was fucking amazing. It was so fucking real. It's interesting. I would love to see Kamala go on that podcast and see if she can get that real. There were a couple things that really stood out to me when they asked him about Mike Pence. He really showed some incredible restraint, and he said he's 99% of Mike Pence is just a great guy, and that he was really disappointed he didn't step up, and he didn't do the right thing because he didn't want to have to pay the price. And he was basically talking about Elon Musk, about how Elon Musk is doing the right thing. But man, I wonder how many people are gonna have to pay the price if he doesn't fucking get elected. Because we already know what they're fucking capable of. It's weird. There's so few people who do the right thing. There's so few people. What if what they are saying is true? If what's true? Connor Sherman, Trump's really shining on the pods. Yeah, that's the. I'm trying to think if I've seen any other ones. I was actually surprised. I started watching it yesterday, and I wasn't planning on watching the whole thing. I was just waiting for I'm watching Dexter. And I was waiting for my wife to sit down, and I started playing at 1.25 time, and I was like, wow, man, Andrew's killing it. Schultz is killing it. Theo's is good. He was good on Lex too. I didn't see that one. Yeah, it was impressive, and it looks like it's interesting. It looked I'm curious. It looks like Donald Trump's traveling with. So he went on Andrew Schultz's podcast, but it looked like in the wings there were 2 other guys from Instagram or TikTok or guys who make video for that for those platforms with him. Donald Trump kept referring to them as influencers. I prefer to call them like mini filmmakers. What are we going to call people who make cool content for Instagram? Journalists, mini filmmakers, short film directors. I'm a short film director. I'm not like a short film director, but I'm a short film director. I'm a short film director that makes short films. I'm short. What are you gonna do? I called Andrew up yesterday and I was like, hey, dude, they got this device that you put on your dick and it gives the metrics of your dick. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's a cockpit. It's Fitbit for your cock. And I go and I was running it by Sousa, and I think you should wear one and I should wear one and we should compare numbers. And Sousa's like, dude, he's juicing. Well, yeah, that's the fun part, right? God, what if I could get like 12 or 13 of them and the whole team we could all wear them. You know what else I heard yesterday? I heard Charlie Kirk talking about how when men have babies, their testosterone goes down by 400 points. I wonder if that happened to me. I don't feel like my testosterone went down. But maybe. That's a trip. Anyway, that'd be awesome, right? Get one of those Firm Tech, Fit Tech, Dick Tech, Cock Tech rings, and have a little fucking comparison between me and Andrew. Andrew said he's hard almost the whole night from when he goes to bed to when he wakes up. That's crazy. I want to go and get stuff to make spaghetti meatballs for our party. Oh. What party? What party? Oh. I will check on drone delivery. Did your iPhone show up? Texting with friends. Oh, sometimes when I text people, if I like as I'm typing, do you ever type something out and you're laughing while you're typing it out because what you're saying is so funny? Even you're laughing at it. You can't believe you're sending it. And then after I send it, I laugh at my own text. And then someone was telling me like, dude, you're the only person I know who laughs at your own text. No one else does that. Do you guys ever send a text and then laugh at it, put the little ha 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 bubble on it, like on your own text? I thought, well, why can't you laugh at your own shit? You can do that, right? Jody Lynn, dang, I just caught up. That guy is incredible. Now back to regular scheduled boner talk. Yeah. I hate how they keep popping in advertising. I've been going through. I noticed that YouTube's putting in a lot of commercials into my shows. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my YouTube channel. YouTube's punishing me for something. My impressions are way down. And so, I don't know if it was the talk about the vaccines or I don't know what happened. That guy had on Heiko who fucking was injured. I don't know what's going on. Wait, Kamala was just on Call Her Daddy. Dude, how the fuck is that the biggest podcast in the world or whatever, top 10 or whatever the fuck it is? I can't even believe it. I went to that girl's Instagram account and to her other account. I just don't live in this. I don't think any of us live in the world that everyone else lives in. She looks like Vale. She looks like she has an eating disorder to me. How could anyone be that skinny? I just didn't enjoy the clips. I don't even enjoy her. I don't find her funny or endearing. She's completely covered in makeup. She's in, what do you call that? Whiteface? Whatever she's doing. Yeah. I guess her shit's huge. How about Donald Trump asked Andrew Schultz if he's the biggest influencer in the world, and Andrew Schultz said it was him, Joe Rogan, and Kim Kardashian. When I hear that shit, I'm just like, God, I must live on another planet. I didn't even think Kim Kardashian was like even slightly relevant anymore. I know. I like seeing Jody's Lynn type out the word boners too. That was fun. No, that's a great question. Is this CEO sign made of Legos, of boners? No, that's a great question. John Young's wife made this for me. I can't tell you how nice this is. Ooh, don't tell John, but when I smell this, I get hard. I don't know if it's the smell of his wife or what. Oh, wow. Yeah, this thing is crazy. This thing's all thick and yummy, and this thing is... Oh, God. Yeah, this is nice. This is really fucking nice. It's heavy. She made this for me. Surprised me. It's so fucking cool. Hey, I want to redo my whole office just because of this. Yeah, it's impressive. It's crazy impressive. Her Instagram account is Mustard. The fuck is her Instagram account? I should get it right. After all, she made this. Mustard. And she's quick. Mustard Seed Crochet. Her name's Leslie Young. Oh. Actually, it smells like marijuana. Do you think John's wife smokes weed? Yeah, she made a Hiller bat. She makes Hiller bats. Yeah, this thing is so fucking nice. Shit. I'll have to fix that later. Anyway, John will be doing, we'll see John early tomorrow morning. Let him know that his wife's handiwork got me aroused. Let me see what other stuff I have here. Okay, here we go. Speaker of the House.
Yesterday you said that you endorse Israel proactively defending itself by hitting Iran's nuclear sites, which is something that President Joe Biden does not endorse. Do you not feel like this could lead to a likelihood of an all-out conventional war between Iran and Israel? And do you not agree with Joe Biden and his assessment?
How does Joe Biden have an assessment? How do you ask that question seriously? The reporter asked, do you not agree with Joe Biden's assessment on what Israel should do to Iran? I'm open to listening to all sorts of sides, but how is that even who is Joe Biden?
I think the idea of allowing...
There's a Sevanistas party? When's that? Where's that? Love the Sevanistas. It's my number one favorite group of people. Oh yeah, this isn't the Speaker of the House, right? This is, I forgot. You know who I had this guy confused with? I had him confused with thank you, Mike. Or no, who told me? Yeah, Mike. I thought this was you know who I thought this was? Who did I think this was? Someone help me out. Johnson. Mike Johnson? Who's the Speaker of the House?
A genocidal, theocratic, unstable dictatorship that is desperate to avoid being overthrown by its own people, to develop nuclear weapons, is about the most dangerous and irresponsible thing that the world could ever allow. And if Israel were to stop that genocidal, theocratic, unstable government from acquiring nuclear weapons, it would be a gift by the Jewish state to humanity.
A gift. Mike Johnson. Sorry, Seema. Mike Johnson. That's who I thought it was. Mike Johnson. There was something in here I saw that I wanted to pull up. Anyway, a gift from the Jews. Like, let's all raise our hands. You raise your hand if you think it's a good idea for Iran to get nuclear weapons. That's what I thought. Hey, one of the crazy, interesting things that Trump said in the Andrew Schultz is he said he was very close to making a deal with China and Russia about completely denuclearizing planet Earth. Basically, by denuclearize, I don't mean nuclear power plants, but I mean weapons. He said both countries wanted that also. I don't know how the fuck you fucking enforce that. You can live in Africa and worry about where your next meal is going to come from, or you can live in the United States and worry about nuclear weapons from the day you were born.
Republicans are claiming that money set aside by Congress for disaster relief is instead going to migrants. But the White House and FEMA saying that is just not true.
I mean, it's just categorically false. It is not true. It is a false statement.
FEMA says that money that was appropriated for Helene victims, they are not getting because instead that money is going to migrants. FEMA says that is not happening.
The White House pushing back against those allegations, releasing a statement that says this, quote, "This is false. The disaster relief fund is specifically appropriated by Congress to..."
FEMA spent all the hurricane relief money on immigrants. It's a lie. It's on Donald Trump supporters to not just swallow his lies whole.
To put falsehoods aside, like the idea that FEMA funds are being redirected to migrants, which is just not true.
Funding is also available through FEMA's.
They're not being redirected. They were redirected. They were redirected. Not are being.
Emergency food and shelter program to support humanitarian relief for migrants.
Also announced a competitive process for the second tranche of funds under the Shelter and Services Program. We are very focused on getting the dollars out the door as quickly as possible.
So now the White House says that for those cities that they know are receiving an influx of migrants, there is somebody from FEMA, that federal emergency management agency, ready and willing to really help those cities when it comes to management of these influx of migrants, including reimbursing some of those cities.
The federal government is sending money to cities and states caring for migrants. $1.1 million, $30 million, $8.6 million, $128 million.
Well, some Republicans are claiming.
It's crazy. The left will fucking say anything. Hey, what's going on with Trump and Medicaid? Is it Medicaid? Is he talking about getting rid of Medicaid, and what are the implications of that? Making sense of Trump's Medicaid silence. Sometimes a significant policy difference between the presidential candidates is what isn't being said. Former President Donald Trump, Republican National Platform, doesn't mention Medicaid, the safety net insurance program, but Vice President Kamala Harris, DNC platform, mentions Medicaid 26 times. What Trump will do. Trump campaign spokesperson Caroline Leavitt told Pulse that his call for a large-scale deportation would end the financial drain on the U.S. healthcare system and ensure Medicaid can care for qualified citizens. Most states do not cover undocumented immigrant adults. Those that do use state money. The Trump administration approved 13 states' requests to tie Medicaid to employment. Though only Arkansas launched due to litigation, his administration also called on states to seek waivers that would allow them more flexibility over Medicaid coverage. Does anyone know? Wow. Tucker interview with Elon on Diddy. New clip just dropped. Is it new footage? Yes. Exactly, Troy. It's fund accounting wordsmithing regarding FEMA and illegal aliens. I know. It's wild. Thank you for saying that. You worded that perfectly. I don't remember, Trish. Remember when Nixon made Israel and Iran strong allies? I don't remember. Hold on, I want to find something here. Shut down Medicare. Let me see Trump. Let me see if I can find some. August? Is that recent? August 20 I don't even know what Medicare is. Democrats are expected to attack former President Donald Trump's views on Social Security and Medicare next week at the Democratic National Convention, even as the ex-president has publicly vowed not to cut the entitlement programs, though the plans he has announced for Social Security are likely to deplete the program funds sooner than expected. Trump and the Republican Party have publicly committed to not cut Social Security or Medicare if Trump wins the White House with the GOP's platform. Democrats have seized on comments Trump made in March, however, when the ex-president suggested he was open to cutting Social Security and Medicare, telling CNBC, there's a lot you can do in terms of entitlements, in terms of cutting, and in terms of also theft and bad management of entitlements. All right. I am podcasting. Am I done podcasting? I really. Tyler, I think we need a new moon landing. We have the tech to really sell it this time. That's a good point. What is today? Thursday? I'm really kind of fucked up because my kids have a jiu-jitsu tournament on Saturday that I really want to go to. Like, I really, really want to go to it. Fuck, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. With electric car credits, Biden picks Green New Deal over seniors. Seniors are struggling to handle Joe Biden's inflationary surge. This is from Newsweek. Inflationary surge in cost of the staples of life. Yet the administration seemingly couldn't care less. Instead of addressing the cost of living crisis, it has been moving money from Medicare to fund radical Green New Deal priorities, especially subsidizing electric vehicles. Not surprisingly, when citizens are apprised of this massive transfer, they overwhelmingly disapprove. Consider how difficult life becomes financially for so many seniors on the modest fixed incomes, especially the 1 in 7 Americans over the age of 65 who rely solely on Social Security payments to support themselves. A 2022 Senior Citizens League survey found that 45% of Americans elderly use charitable food banks or applied for SNAP, the program commonly known as government food stamps. I sent this to one of my liberal friends, and they sent it back to me. Well, Trump's going to cut Medicare. According to an article in the Wall Street Journal, Medicare will keep only 15% of the savings for some relatively inexpensive new benefits. Much of the remaining 85% flows generous $7,500 subsidies for expensive electric cars. Looking at the economics here reveals the injustice of this transfer. Oh. Wow, maybe that's what Trump's going to cut. That's from maybe Trump is going to cut electric car subsidies from Medicare. I welcome that. How cool is fucking Elon that he doesn't want fucking any special treatment for fucking electric cars? We need Jimmy Watson back for part 2. I think you're right. I think you're right. How come every time you go to a website, they want to like jump into your cookies and shit? What the fuck what are they doing? You think it's bad to be transphobic? You think it's bad to be you think it's bad to be afraid of men who want to dress up as women? Like is that bad? Like what are things you could be afraid of? Let's say like chainsaws. You know what I mean? Like probably a lot of people are afraid of chainsaws. You think it's bad like to be alone in an elevator with a man at 3 a.m. when you're drunk? Like would that make you a man hater? You ever been around a crazy girl at a party when she's drunk and like she's trying to pick fights? You think that's bad to be afraid of that? Like why is it bad to be afraid of certain things? How come we can't just be like, oh yeah, I don't really recognize that. I've like that I'm a little afraid of that.
About the live bullets, the fact that you can now kill illegal immigrants trying to enter the border.
I love it. If you are trying to commit a crime on the Polish soil, you might be that. We do not know if you're a refugee, a migrant, or a terrorist. That's why after our soldier was killed, our parliament passed a law that we can use live bullets to protect our nation. We heard that it appeared, but there is no such a zombie cities like San Francisco. We don't have that.
When do you think the rest of Europe lost this?
When they decided to be politically correct. It started with the leftists. This is what they want. They want diversity. What kind of diversity? With a knife and a rifle? Is this diversity?
Beautiful.
You do not see soldiers with the rifles as you see in London or in France. There's no need. We are not racist. We are not Islamophobes. We are logical.
Tell me about the live bullets.
It all goes back to this is the most diverse country in the world by far. And it always goes back to this is the most tolerant country in the world. And because of that, we have now accepted the most intolerant people. And no one wants to put their foot down because it would be politically incorrect. There's a fucking cohort of people. They used to be called Democrats. Now they're called pedocrats. And for some reason, they don't think that normalizing pedophiles is wrong because our acceptance should show no bounds. Oh, there goes my battery. I guess the show's over. Can you guys hear me? I'm not even turning on that other camera. Fuck you. You said I look 10 years older when I have that other camera on? Fuck you. I ain't turning that other camera on. You eat a dick. I wonder what's happening. I'm assuming you guys can still hear me. Epic way to end the show. Thank you. That is pretty good. I should have just stopped talking. How bad does David miss no, I'm not using my other computer camera. No. How bad does thank you, Janelle. How bad does David fucking miss living in the United States? I just figured that out recently. God, he just misses it so much. It's crazy. It's not broken. It's not broken. It's just I don't know what it is. I think I don't know what it is. It's not broken. So I don't know if I should tell this story. Yesterday, God, I don't know if I'm ready to tell this story. It doesn't need tape. It doesn't need tape. It doesn't need tape. It doesn't need tape. Thanks, Disseldinger. Appreciate it. All right. Love you guys. I'll definitely come back on later on tonight. I'm going to party though, at 3:00. So maybe if I come back on later, I'll be fucking sideways. I want to get some of the athletes on. Maybe I can get Fee Sagaffi on. I don't know how many bridges I've burnt. Maybe I get some of the athletes on from Crash. I really don't want to deal with this fucking camera thing. Don't drink brings out the worst in me. But I'm going to this place that's so fun to drink at. I know. And Greg's only in town for a little while longer. You want to hear the story? Yesterday, my kid's fucking piano lesson, a fucking tranny walked out of the house. And it's like, I love trannies, but not around my kids. At least not if I'm like. So. How about don't drink too much? I didn't even know you cared about me that much. That's really sweet, David. Yeah. Yep. It's. And like I don't have a problem with the tranny, but it's like really at my kid's fucking piano lesson. Do you have to do that? Like, why can't I want if I go should I go wider? I'm trying to think if there's anything in here I don't want you guys to see. I don't want you guys to see my penis pump. What if I go wide? What if I did it? Oh yeah, then you guys can see my text messages. That's not good. That's not good. Or my calendar. I guess that doesn't matter. Let me see what happens if I go. Let me see what if I went wide like that? What is that? What's that? Oh, that's a hat. Trying to think if there's anything up here you guys shouldn't see. You guys see anything that's not? How's that? Problem is we can see your screens. I know that's not good. I don't like you guys seeing my screens. Especially that one. This one I don't mind so much. That one's the notes. I wanted to put a screen here that had a fourth screen that had all my text messages. That would be a horrible spot for them. What's a FAP screen? I have 3 screens. I have 2 Apple screens. This is the small Apple screen, 27 inches, and this is the 37 inch. And then over here, I have another 32 inch. That's I want to say LG. I know. I know. I wish I had a fourth screen. Can you guys see the computer? The computer's here. No, you guys can't see that. All right. It's got to at least be. I can't have that screen on there. It's got to at least be like that. I think that's as wide as I can go. Feel comfortable. Oh, I have a fourth screen. I have a big TV in here too. Probably 90. It's a whole wall. I would guess it's 80 or 90 inches. That's supposed to be so if someone's on the couch, they can see the chat. The whole thing, it was a good idea, but I just haven't pulled it off. By the way, Vindicate VNDK8. I got all my Crash Crucible gear so I can wear Crash shirts this week. Travis did do something kind of weird. I hate to fucking kick a gift horse in the mouth, but he sent me a medium. He said, we're out of larges in this shirt, so I sent you a medium. I think he told my wife that. But I can't wear, like what am I supposed to do with a medium? I just can't. I just don't know what to do with a medium. Then my wife's like, don't be a dick. It'll probably fit you. Like, no, I'll fucking look like you'll see my fucking love handles in it. Fucking medium. The fuck am I supposed to do with a medium? Anyway, he sent me a bunch of larges and they're nice shirts. They're really nice shirts. VNDK8.com. He would never do that to you guys. He just does that to me because I'm black. That's what I think. Oh, shit. There's a new CrossFit survey. And one of the questions is, which gender do you identify with? God damn it. Why the fuck do they do that? These fucking idiots. Look at this shit. Look at this fucking shit. Question 2.1. Fucking A. I don't know if I should share this screen either. Which gender do you identify with? I don't identify with any gender. I am a sex. Oh, that was fucking amazing. Have you guys seen this video of Charlie Kirk surrounded by college students and they're trying to fucking identify what a woman is? It's fucking amazing. And then actually my son Avi's so into Charlie Kirk and he's always asking me who I think's winning the argument. And I'm like, hey dude, that's up to you to decide. But he was tripping. He was tripping that the college students didn't know the difference between a boy and a girl. He was tripping. I don't understand why Charlie just doesn't. When you get into a conversation of sex and gender, does it help you guys at all? Do you guys understand the distinction? One of them is just made up. It would be like if I thought I was a vampire, like you're just I knew it. I'm in trouble. Yes. You ungrateful fuck. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, I missed that first part. Hello? One more time?
What's up?
Tell me that line again.
You ungrateful fuck.
Oh, I know. I am such a prima donna.
Maybe I should send you
should send you a camera instead.
Send me a Vindicate cock ring. Dude, I'm so fucking
There you
jealous
go.
of your new wristbands. Those,
Did I send you some?
yeah, those white ones are fucking hot. Those are fucking amazing.
So we need to make some white CEO ones.
Oh, that
Is
would
that
be
racist?
Yeah, that's
we,
definitely.
We already made black ones.
Yeah, make yellow ones too. I would rock yellow ones. The Asian ones.
Okay. That'd be interesting.
Call them the Asians.
You can just pee on them, and they'd be yellow.
Just pee on my white ones.
Just pee on them. You can call them yellow.
Hey, are you driving to Crash?
Yeah, I'm about 2 hours away.
What's the deal with the roads? Did you have to go through any deal with any hurricane shit?
So usually I'll go. I still got to Nashville, which is normal. Usually I'll drive to Cookeville and stay there. But then you would keep going kind of southeast through Asheville, but you can't go that way anymore. So yeah, I had to go. I went to Nashville, stayed with Paulina last night, checked out Paper Street.
Oh shit! Did you see Tia? I heard that she's in the coffee shop all the time.
No, I was there at 6 a.m. So
Oh, okay.
she ain't getting up that early. Yeah, I was on
Wow.
the road by 10 after 6.
You had a coffee at the Paper Street coffee shop at Proven HQ.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Their workers get there at 5:30 to start getting everything ready, and then they open at 6. Proven's first class is at 5, so they're up and running by the time class is out.
Dude, that's awesome, dude.
The shop is really cool.
Yeah.
And it's nice because like they have doors that close off the gym. So if you're like not interested in the gym and you want to just go there and do some work, it's not like you're listening to really loud music or anything. They got a big lobby with tables and chairs in it, so you can just go there and hang out.
Yeah, Gabe spent a small fortune making that place perfect.
A little bit.
Yeah, and
I've
you
had a
can
few
tell.
conversations on that.
Is it that nice?
Oh,
You can
yeah,
tell you
it's
go in there
cool.
and you're like, yep, you spent a small. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's not like over the top by any means. It's super clean. It's really nice.
Well,
They
that's
did a very
cool.
good job because I saw it before anything was even in there, when it was just a shell. Because that was during the open announcement that they had originally just started getting that space ready to go. So there was literally nothing in there. So it's cool to see it to come together.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, did you see that shirt? Did you see this shirt that these one-offs that Sprague's team made?
The Trump ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that possible to make shirts like that, or is that just so much fucking ink you're just asking for trouble? I mean, this is an iron-on. Like, I'm afraid if I wash this once, this thing will fall apart.
If
Oh,
they
this
use
thing-
a halfway decent process, it'll stay on.
This thing makes me horny too. I thought it was just John Young's wife's smell that makes me horny, but this is from one of James's best friends was wearing this shirt. Maybe I am gay.
Yeah, those can be made though.
Yeah, this thing's crazy.
I honestly thought about making those. I ran out of time. Doing one for Taylor and one for Colton. Same design, just swapping out their heads, but time just ran out.
I want one that it's like Trump, but it's me and fucking like 5. Like I could be the woman protecting him. You know what I mean? Like I'm there protecting him. It's like just me and some of the boys, like me and Hiller and fucking Souza and fucking Chase and Bill and Pedro, like just all protecting him. Spin. Hey, that shirt. Did you make me the shirt that says the Sevon podcast and it has all the faces on it? Wait. I lost you. Sorry. Hold on. I lost you. You got disconnected. Of course you got disconnected. Hello? Nope. Something's wrong. Hold on. Stand by. We got a break. We got a breach in the system. Hello?
Show's fucking falling apart.
It's never been together.
Freaking duct tape duct tape and gum, just holding everything together.
God, speaking of duct tape, I've been watching. Let me. Did you make that shirt, the Sevon podcast one that had all our faces on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing. You know what's funny is every time I wear that, I get oohs and ahs. You know when you have a shirt that's so good that you're afraid to kind of wear it because you don't want to wash it too many times.
Is that the distressed gray?
Yeah, it's something. It
That
look.
one?
Yes, I would say distressed. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you can wash the shit out of those.
Okay, I'm gonna wear that tomorrow
They're heavy duty.
from
There you go.
the beginning of the. I've never worn that one.
Wear
on the
that.
air.
Wear that medium crash shirt.
I'll try. I would normally I will wash my shirts before I do, but I'm not gonna wash it. My wife's like that'll definitely fit you.
I would say it might fit you because those run a little bit bigger. We're just trying to. I had all the other ones packed, and we're trying to sell a shitload of those for JR this weekend to help offset all of his fucking plumbing issues.
Oh yeah. Well, you're a good dude.
All that water damage.
You know.
No, we know what I wanted to call in about. Speaking of good dudes,
Yeah.
is anybody who disparages Elon can fuck off.
I agree.
So I don't know if you saw it or not with the hurricanes, that he was allowing the cell phone companies to tap into Starlink if they lost their signals.
Oh, that's cool.
And the reason I say that, so my daughter lives in Cape Coral, Florida, and they couldn't get out because the traffic was just insane. So it was like you either stay put or you try and get on the road and get freaking annihilated sitting on the road. So they stayed put. Thankfully, they didn't lose any signal, but they did have the ability to get into Starlink if they needed it, because they lost power about 8 o'clock last night, and then they've actually lost their water also. The water system is on the outside of the house, and the wind took it out. So
hey, it's so
cool
it's so funny. I just looked it up, and you know how Google presents it? Google presents it as the U.S. Federal Communications Commission has given Elon Musk, SpaceX, and T-Mobile the authority to use Starlink satellites to provide direct-to-cell coverage for cell phones in areas of North Carolina hard hit by hurricane. It's so funny. They're trying to make it so the U.S. FCC gets credit for it.
You gotta spin it.
Yeah. God, that's so
That was pretty
fucking
cool though, because
funny.
it was pretty freaking nerve-wracking knowing that, like, oh shit, we're not gonna be able to get a hold of her for days if the power goes out. And thankfully, T-Mobile still has their signal. I think the storm kind of lightened up a little bit as it got closer.
Hey, how do the Keys handle a hurricane?
I don't know.
It doesn't even make sense, right?
Can freaking keep rebuilding.
Have you ever been down there? Have you ever been down to Key West?
No, I've not been there.
It's fucking like it's just this skinniest strip of land that just goes on forever out into the middle of the fucking, I don't know what ocean that is, the Atlantic and the Gulf, and you're just like, what the fuck? How is this still around? How could this ever handle a fucking any hurricane?
I don't know. I don't know how they, like I said, how they keep rebuilding, because we went to a resort last year in Fort Myers, and I mean that they got completely wiped out with Ian, so they were in the process of rebuilding. We had the resort that we stayed at was only like one of 3 that had actually been opened back up, and they were still like redoing the pool and everything. Sure enough, last week that freaking hurricane that came in, they flooded again. This week they flooded again. Same exact spot.
I mean, what happens
I don't
if
know how
this?
they do it.
Yeah, what happens if this road goes out? This road, it's what's it called? This road that goes all the way out to Key West. I don't. The one. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. And there's a lot of roads like that. And they were freaking getting hit with tornadoes left and right yesterday, on top of the hurricanes. It's crazy. I don't know how people live there. My daughter can't wait to get out.
Where does she live exactly?
It's called Cape Coral. It's just south of Tampa.
Oh.
So they were like in the path, and it looks like it went just a little bit north. So they were kind of on the outer edge of it.
I want to take my kids.
But
I want to take my kids to Key West and stay there for a month.
Not this time of year.
No.
I mean, when everything's good, it's freaking amazing.
Yeah, I wonder what the weather is like there all year
Amazing
round.
area.
Yeah. I think Key West, as I recall when I was there, it's like a gay capital too, right? Key West weather. It's just like it's like a homosexual haven.
That I don't know.
Yeah, for some reason gay dudes love Key West.
Huh. I don't know about that.
I have my calling. Oh, it's only in the 80s there now.
You're calling. Yeah, they're starting to cool down.
I think
like this little Nashville, Tennessee area is nice.
Where are you coming from? Are you commuting with anyone, by the way? Do you have anyone in the car with you?
No, it's just me.
Oh.
Just me. My daughter was going to come with me, but she has a volleyball tournament for school, so she wasn't able to.
Someone wrote
This drive.
Go ahead.
This drive gets long. It's 17 and a half hours total. You would hate it.
Yeah, that's too long for me. Although I drove from here to Idaho. That was crazy.
In a snowstorm.
Yeah, yep, right.
No, thank you. Good.
All right, I'm off. I
just had to call in and tell you how selfish you were.
I appreciate it.
I know you appreciate it.
My wife will appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one, buddy. See you this weekend.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah. Sounds good. Bye.
All right, Vindicate. Headed over to Crash Crucible. Chase Bryant, of course you do. You have a fish in your hand. I have a family on a longboat and all the roads and a couple feet of sand on them. The first hurricane put 5 feet of water on my uncle's house. This hurricane may have taken off the slab. Oh, may have taken the house off the slab. Wow. Bye, Carrie. See you. Bye-bye. All right, I got to go too. See you guys later. Have a good one. If for some reason I don't see you tonight, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning around 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bye-bye.